and welcome back to the NLC Division 2 semi-finals. Nativz are now currently 2-0 up in this series. Fløng definitely put more of a performance on and more of a fight on in that game than they did in game number 1. But ultimately, again, Nativz just really recognized what they needed to do on the map. They were typically first to objectives. It just feels like this Nativz are a team who seem to have a better read on like what to do at what stages of the game, while Fløng are kind of like fumbling from place to place almost.
Yeah, no, I think that's just a perfect summary of it. There's not much to add. Like, genuinely, that is pretty much the perfect way to sum up. Fløng just look lost.
Yeah.
Even when they have these strong members to play towards, like they had Bankstead in this game, and even the previous game, in game 1, they had the avenue to kind of play through, right? With the Veigar, and even with the composition in terms of, hey, if ever Nativz have to come into us, a team fight can be successful, but the issue is our ranges of engage are kind of limited, and they outrange us, so they don't have to come into us if they just poke us out first. So, you know, in some aspects, yes, draft, maybe you can argue, kind of let them down, but still, it's more credit, in my opinion, to Nativz for executing on the tools of what they have. And on Fløng's end, they need to find a creative way around what's happening to them right now, or at the very least, you know, get their heads together and really communicate how they need to play these team fights, play out side lanes, because at the moment, even when Nativz, in theory, should be at a disadvantage, they're just outplaying them.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. It is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Like, maybe if you're Fløng, you do go into these more like creative drafts. Obviously, yes, Darius is a little left field, but then it is just Bankstead. So maybe creative drafts are the answer. But then you think about game 1, they did a creative draft and that didn't work. I think what really is showing is Nativ's ability to read the game and just play towards their win conditions and not being able to kind of catch up. Now, I do have a quick note. There has been some miscommunication, I believe, before we get going into this next game. There is a chance that we will actually be having a sub on the side of Fløng, but I'm not going to completely say that is exactly what's happening yet. We are just taking a brief moment. I'm not entirely sure what's happened. I'm looking over there at my other screen and getting updates on what's going on in this game, but there is a slight delay on the champ select just because we are waiting to find out exactly what's going on, basically.
Yeah, that's interesting. So from the information we do have at hand, if the sub is happening, from what we've seen, it's supposed to be top lane, but it would be interesting if that is the case. Of course, we'll hold on to reservations until we get confirmation on what exactly is going on, but a potential substitute coming in for should be Fløng. So that could change the dynamic, especially again if it's the top lane, right? I feel like Bankstead has been a vocal point in both of these games, whether positive or negative, right? So changing it out, it's definitely a big thing to do in a potential, you know, elimination situation in playoffs. But for now, I think we'll just hold on to the reservation that it should be Bankstead playing until we get confirmation on that substitute.
I mean, maybe Bankstead's just gone to watch robots. I don't know, man. I'm hoping to find out. The reason I'm staring off at the other screen is I'm trying to figure it out. There is now an issue with the sub, I believe, but it looks like we are ready. What is happening? What is happening?
Jake, guess what?
What?
Even Ender believes that Robots is a GOAT film.
I did
so
just see.
Unfortunately,
it did just get mentioned. I'm looking at my phone. Ender is 12.
Ender is also part of the Zuma gang. So, like,
yes, I did get told Robin Williams is in it, and I did forget Robin Williams is in it.
Robin Williams is in it, and
he's an amazing. He was an amazing actor.
He's literally on the poster of the film.
Yeah, I know. He's the red guy, isn't he?
Yes.
But like, sure, he's amazing, but it doesn't mean it's like not every great had amazing films all the time. I mean, Nicolas Cage, he's had some amazing films. He's also had some absolutely trash films.
Are we calling Nicolas Cage a great?
I would say Nicolas Cage at this point is a great. Yes. I'm just coming out a controversial movie type. He's amazing. Nicolas Cage. Have you seen his new film? Well, have you seen the trailer for his new film?
He just screams Nicolas Cage for like 90 seconds.
I think that's why he's so good. He's just such a memeable man.
Yeah, no, he is. I think he's probably gotten used to the fact that it is now. So I have word that we're going to pick and ban, and it's going to be Ketsuo coming in. All right, so that will be a last second substitution. And I wonder how this changes things and whether or not Fløng are now going to play towards the top side inside of Ketsuo, or whether or not they're actually just going to sort of shift away, allow Ketsuo to play more weak side picks and actually try a little bit harder to enable Errol and Guffer. Because I think if there's one thing I can definitely say in Game 1 and Game 2 confidently, is that in the early game, you can more proactively see Nativz, I beg your pardon, going out of their way to actually enable a particular member on their team, whether it's been Joppa, whether it's been Relay, to get resources into their back pockets. They've been doing that. For Fløng, that's not necessarily been the case. Now, Ketsuo, for anyone who's not familiar with Ketsuo, high elo player, loves to play Yone, plays Yasuo, Arely, all of these sort of mechanical champions. So that's why you're seeing Nativz adapt their draft and actually remove away the Yone themselves, as opposed to obviously locking it in and maybe like sort of second phase super early if there's a route they maybe want to go down. And they've actually gone now towards the Karma. So I want to see what Fløng are going to do, because again, Ketsuo, in a way, kind of like Vangsted, right? A very carry-orientated player, but a lot more mechanically demanding champions are the kind of things that he leans on. And finally, we get the Zeri on the red side out of Fløng, and Fløng also remove away the Jinx. So I wonder now if this means that Joppa could even get his hands on this Karma himself as sort of like a support to the rest of the team, and Clocks ends up on something a little more tanky, or whether or not this Karma ends up in a solo lane, or whether or not Joppa just goes towards the Aphelios for the simple case of that is the next best AD carry on this patch.
I really don't want Soroka Karma again bot lane. We had that in EU Masters. We don't need more of that. The Zeri pickup, we were saying it's interesting, but we hadn't seen the Zeri kind of show its face yet. Now we're going to see what the next answer will be. Clock's kind of nodding his head to Rote Benge from that last game, and actually maybe just looking for something that can kind of be a little bit more reliable in the fight to kind of lock people down. And honestly, I actually really rate the Ashe here. Zeri is a champion who can be quite slippery. You can slow her down with the volley. You can also then just lock her down with the ultimate. It gives you some long-range engage as well. Gives you some pick potential. It's a nice little pickup here. Curious to see what they're going to actually do with this Karma. Whether or not they're actually going to put the Karma in the bot lane, the top lane, or kind of flex it around a little bit. Currently now just thinking about what they're going to look to put in the jungle for Snilly. Snilly's been a little interesting with champ pool so far. Obviously, game 1 was on the Udyr, but now is going to a traditional jungler here in the Lee Sin.
Yeah, we'll take up the Lee Sin here into Shafty's Viego. And now towards Fløng. What will they really do? Do they really want to take up? I think maybe one of the safer things to do would be go mid, ban away 2 mid laners. And I think they've got the same idea here, hovering over the Orianna. And it's just going to provide a lot of space if they go for that lock-in. I was thinking maybe something a bit more aggressive in Errol champion pool, like the LeBlanc perhaps, but Orianna is what the choice of mid lane will be. And now I expect 2, super aggressive, sort of irritating to deal with mid laners for the Orianna side of the matchup to be moved away. And that first part will be the Zoe from Relay.
Yeah, following up with the Nautilus ban here from Nativz, kind of understandable. You've got that Karma potentially in the bot lane with the Ashe. Don't want to get kind of have that pick potential earlier in the Nautilus, and that kind of someone who can absorb a lot of the damage that they'll be throwing out. Curious to see what Fløng's next pick is going to be. It's just going to be the Syndra towards Ryan. And now over to Nativz. I wonder if, like you were saying, they've got that things like the Aurelia and the Yasuo. They are actually just focusing a little bit more on these engaged supports, taking away the Leona. Things like the Thresh are still up and available. Obviously, the Yuumi is another big one. We do see that sometimes picked up with the Zeri or the Lulu as well. So there are these
enchantments. Plays it too. Yeah.
We'll see what they go for. Also, Nami's open. I know we're not on 13. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. We're not.
13's not for another half a year.
Yeah. 12.
Ooh, oh, they're setting
up. They're going to go for an engage.
They're setting up for Yasuo. It's going to be Yasuo R5. If it makes sense to go on R5, they're going to go Yasuo for Ketsuo.
What happens if we get picked here for the side of Nativz? There is the potential.
Really, it does play it, and it would be the sort of season 4 combo, right? Lee Sin Yasuo.
Yeah.
Back in the day was the combo, but I think something like Alistar, beg your pardon, like Silas makes so much sense. You've already got 2 pretty strong almost to steal away, and stealing away Alistar is just almost always going to make you unkillable. Just about every major team fight that there is in the mid lane, it's Yasuo. It's got to be Yasuo, right? Like you can win with the Orno in the mid game. Yes, the laning phase might be a little bit rough, but as long as you don't get hyper camped, you should be fine. But instead, just going to lean on the Camille, and I think that's totally okay too, simply because it's Camille into Ornn. You kind of get a bit of a free laning phase. You shouldn't really get bullied 1v1 too hard. You pick up the Divine Sunderer, and then the lane pretty much starts to be entirely Camille favored. There's not too much that Linda von the Ornn can do to force him out, and then it becomes a bit of a ticking time bomb, right, where you have to either answer the Camille on the side lane, or she tears up your base, or she comes and flanks and absolutely deletes one of your carries in the back line.
Also, I think, you know, Camille is technically, well, not technically, Camille is just, you know, the safer pick here. I think the Yasuo, obviously, a lot has to go right. You have to
Would have been
that right.
fun.
Would have been incredibly fun and has, you know, real potential to take over a game, but I think Camille is definitely the safer option here.
Yeah, no, 100% is definitely the safer, more standard option as well. And I think when you're, you know, backs against the wall, sort of going back towards meta things that make the most sense as opposed to comfort, in a situation like this make the most sense. And I mean, when you're talking about, you know, amount of damage available to either side here, you're looking at Fløng, and it's basically carries top to bottom. Whereas for Nativz, you know, you're looking at Ashe. Ashe isn't really known as, you know, the most, you know, hyper carry of hyper carries. Are they looking at Lee Sin, Silas, Ornn? The comp doesn't particularly scale, you know, super well into the late game when you put it up against the giants that are, you know, Camille, Zeri, Orianna, even Viego, right? So I think Nativz are on a bit of a soft clock here, but we've seen them out, you know, execute even in situations like this. So I think I still look towards Nativz and I say, what areas of the map are you going to look to pressure, right? Because you should have a lot of kill threat in most lanes. How are you going to leverage and use that pressure to actually build big leads for yourself?
Yeah, these are going to be the big questions here, but it is on Fløng. They're on the back foot. They are currently down 2 games in this series, and this loss here would be a 3-0 for Nativz and knocking Fløng out of the runnings here at the NLC Div 2. Nativz, I mean, we were kind of hitting on it in the before the game, but you know, Nativz just seem to have a better read on the map, and Fløng are unfortunately seeming a little bit lost right now. So it's all to play for Fløng in this game. And with a sub, it does make it a little bit harder, but it obviously does introduce that kind of, bit of a surprise factor, a card up your sleeves. But we are on to the rift for game number 3 of this best of 5 between Nativz and Fløng.
Like I say, backs against the wall for Fløng here. They bring the substitute, they pull out. I mean, I think safe to say, at the very least, their most vocal player, at least outwardly in interviews and such, a player that most Fløng members or fans rather associate probably first. For Ketsuo here. Definitely a lot of pressure probably on Ketsuo, right? You're 2-0 down in a best of 5, you get brought in as a substitute. Definitely want to make your mark here in the series as, this is cheeky from Nativz.
One more auto, first blood to Clocks.
Okay, we giggle at that, but there are potential ramifications for Clocks not having flash here, because now we're on Bengi, has potential opportunity to, you know, flash pole headbutt, get the trample down at level 3, and then Shafty's there for the setup. So Clocks is, I don't want to say mispositioning, but definitely curious choice of pathing out of that play could come to bite him in the next 5 minutes.
It absolutely could. And Rote Benge just getting sent packing, unfortunately. We'll see if there's any potential early shenanigans to break down. Now you have a flashless Karma. Obviously, remember, Ashe, it's been a while since she's kind of been showing up regularly. They did change the volley. You start with a shorter, a shorter width on the volley at level 1, and you add more arrows and widen the width of it as you put more levels into it. So not quite as oppressive in lane as it was back when Ashe was fairly relevant and getting played quite a lot.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's what sort of brought, I wouldn't say Ashe entirely out of meta, but brought her back down out of this sort of near permapick for a little while. If you remember, I think it was season 10, maybe even season 9. She was an incredibly powerful AD carry, and it's because she had so many arrows available in that volley, and now you can see already immediate thoughts towards Clocks, and look at Clocks' positioning. He is so weary of this. A 1 step too far forward could all be...
Yeah. That was beautiful! Brought in with the minions, and Clocks trying to get the tether off, but he is on his lonesome, running away. The ignite is being thrown down. Chopper's trying to find a little bit more additional damage as Rote Benge is getting close. Guff gets the shield off. Here comes the backup. Snilly's coming in. They're going to insect him out. They got the shield. They got the flashes to use. Rote Benge going to get chased onto by Snilly, and he can find himself an answer out kill. It's a 1-for-1, and now Shafty has to be careful because Chopper still feeling it.
Yeah, Chopper was still feeling it for a brief moment, but as I was talking about in the early stages, Snilly, does he have Kingslayer? He does!
Oh, he does! The heal from the Kingslayer's big. Errol almost gets him. Kitty Cat comes in and now Snilly.
Oh, it's a mind game.
Looking for a second kill. If he lands his kick, it's going to be the kill. A beautiful sidestep will save Errol's life.
My goodness me. I mean, Snilly even could have warped. Had a warp his inventory still. Could have made a little bit more of that for Errol, but Errol holds onto his flash, fortunately for himself. Will walk out of that one alive. And that's all that's going to be for now. Looking on towards Ketsuo. Snilly is literally walking lane to lane to lane here. Looking for opportunities. We'll have double skull. And Fløng, they do pick on that flashless karma, but it almost costs them quite a lot.
Yeah, they do find the kill, but, you know, it came at the cost of the Lee Sin finding a kill. They got some answer out. Jopper now 2 assists in. And this mid lane is absolutely rough as Rotte. Benge, he's also feeling it. Clocks finds yet another kill. Shafty, he's on the run.
He is on the run now. 2v2. Not going in the favor now of Fløng. And an immediate punish, which is what we are looking for from Fløng, ends up backfiring now. As Joppa and Clocks, the range, the poke, just wins out. And Alistar, he's effectively just a setup bot, right? If he's not able to be on top of Joppa, on top of Clocks, on top of those Ashe, on top of the Ashe and Karma, not really much that he's providing inside of the lane. And poor Alistar still level 2, 5 minutes into the game.
Alistar very reliant on those levels as well. Kind of wants to get at least 3 of them. Unlock his full combo. Definitely having a rougher go of it. Is ouch. Camille already hurting. Got that Sheen finished up.
Very balanced Sheen. Always feels bad when you're on the receiving end of that. You're like, yes, I'm winning this trade. And then Q2 comes through and you're like, never mind.
True
never
damage,
gets sold.
yes.
Yes. Never gets sold. That champion's been out, what, 5, 6 years now? It just feels
Is it actually 5, 6 years?
Yeah, do you know how I remember? It's because in season 7, I was a top lane main, and I think Camille came out at the very start of season 7. I'll finish the story after this because Goffey could be in trouble. Never mind parkouring out. That's a season 12 champ, ladies and gentlemen. And I had to lane against Cabo Shard in my placements in season 7 whilst I was a top lane main, and he was playing Release Camille. Now, I will say, I did beat him in lane because I was playing Jax and he was probably still learning the champion. But the point is, after the laning phase, my god, that champion was absolutely absurd.
Do you remember Release's here? When he got attack speed based on his cooldown reduction?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
I loved Zir. Because he used to have a shield and a knock up on his E, and I think they reintroduced the shield. I don't think they reintroduced the knock up. It's actually been a while since I've played as it. But yeah, he was fun. He was very balanced at launch.
Many of those champions like that. Over time, they've been brought back down to earth a little bit. As speaking of being brought back down to earth,
well, I think Guff might be just being brought back to the grey screen as they're actually looking to find a quick turnaround. Maybe Snilly's able to jump away, breaking out on the chains, and those minions actually doing a lot of work there for Fløng. Yeah, just chunking Chopper out meant he couldn't really get into the action.
No, they kept him tied down there. Snilly is just trying to force Shafty out of the river. Clocks is going to have first move here. Beat Ron Bengi to it. That'll be the Skull Crab's killed for the Lee Sin, for the native jungler. Looks like they're even going to go a little bit further. They want onto the Grump, maybe push Shafty out of his own jungle. Has Smite available. We'll pick that one up. And we'll just walk away. And Snilly could even think maybe about the dragon. Priority here on the bot side. As Goffey had to back away, take a reset. Ron Bengi, again, just going to continue to be bullied out here until he hits level 6. And of course, Shafty's around, but that's all he's going to really be there for. Big meat shield, knock up. Not going to be providing too much more until he hits that level 6 mark. It's going to feel rough getting poked out in this lane.
Yes, really going to be feeling it, unfortunately. And the scary thing as well is Joppa will be closing in on level 6, so you won't have that cleanse available from the Alistar's Kingslayer forward. Shockwave on. And the Chain Lash not going to finish him up. Errol able to just about survive that, but did have to burn the flash.
Yeah, did have to lose the flash there, so potential for Snilly to come in and actually deal with the Orianna this time around. Shafty will clear out this control ward here on the top side. Wonder if Fløng are maybe going to make a play towards the top side here, because Ketsu has been left pretty unattended to. There's a control ward here, which Shafty again is going to have to clear out, so it should spell safety for the Nativz top side. That Herald, both these neutrals actually still up. Dragon 9 minutes in, not taken. Mountain Dragon's the first one, so that won't be the soul for our match point game here. Good dash.
Lovely little dodge there, and wow, that's a lot of damage actually from the Clogs gets the kill, he gets Insect back, and he's stunned underneath the tower, but he's tanking it to make sure Joppa gets the kill. He didn't, he stole it, he got 2.
Alright, well, it's Cardinal got a shutdown after she died, by the way, so
I actually think that was really worth him chasing further in.
Yeah, I guess so. The end result, it's definitely fine. Joppa's gonna get 2 plates at the very least to himself.
Oh no.
It's a massive trade.
Shockwave not available, Ryle does have his own, but he is heartbroken as Shafty steals away the kill.
It does steal away the kill. Shafty should go up towards the Herald, pick that one up. Has priority up there, bottom side. Snilly will pick up this dragon, and that's 2 plates. A massive wave missed out by Goffey. Actually, if we could take a look at the difference between the 2 AD carries right now, I'd love to see how large it exactly is. And it's 1.3, 1.4. It's a massive amount of gold. And also, don't forget the XP difference, right? Goffey just missed so many creeps. And now even thinking about potentially diving Goffey on the next wave. It's a cannon. We'll spot out that the Krugs are there. Clocks in between 2 towers right now. Clocks is playing like he doesn't really care much for his own life at this moment, as Bengi.
Oh my word, this is the saddest moo cow. He is getting bullied so hard. If Clock lands another kill on him, he actually could die again fairly soon. Joppa's got ult. There is actually room for a dive here. And they are setting up for it. Ult's going to be coming in. They have got the backup of their jungler, though. Although, W is worn out, and Bosma in the area as well. Both junglers just narrowly avoiding each other.
They weren't too sure how close Viego actually was to that play once they saw the mist on the wall. So they backed away, but he used it just to get to lane faster as Lundorf. Does he have mana for the ultimate? He does.
Oh, no, what?
Oh.
That was in the wrong direction. It was a good guess.
No vision.
It was a good guess.
Wait. No. He's storing in the mid lane. No. It was closer than it needed to be. So the reason why that looks so strange there is Lundorf actually would have lost vision from his point of view on Ketsu. Ketsu would have been far enough away to not have any vision seen on him. So you're wondering why he went so far. It's because he actually thought Ketsu must have gone, or might have gone into the alcove to dodge away on the Ornorm. So that's why it went so wide. Ketsu doesn't even have to blow the flash. And here actually we're getting a replay of the top lane, so I would like to get a vision toggle on Lundorf just to get confirmation that he's not griefing his ultimate, just because
he can't see anything.
Quite strange. I'm pretty sure he just absolutely couldn't see anything, especially just the way like the specific angle of it is. You'll see hook shot. Oh wait, almost got it interrupted. She would have seen the final part of it and just thought walking up. I think
he didn't even see him enter that bush.
Yeah, it's a really safe guess, honestly. I don't blame Lundorf in the slightest.
No, that was an honest to God good guess. Oh, that's an honest to God good insect. The flash comes out from Guff and swallows him. That's a season 1 champ.
That's a season 1 champ, baby.
Hey.
So this is, I don't care how many years you have underneath your belt. And that takes him out in the middle of the terrain. And the final path to execute. Still doesn't have the first item completed. Beggy's going to get spotted out in that bush. Now somebody's going to have to hold this wave, and Shafty will as
Clocks is in trouble. Headbutt pulled onto. They get the stun. They get the knockup.
So
they're not looking at the Joppa. Clocks is actually tanking so much, and they're actually looking to lock down the whole.
Oh no!
Building. It's huge. And Joppa's coming in. They're making sure they get the assist over. Double kill to Joppa. And it has gone oh so wrong. And Lundorf actually winning the trade here. The substitute top laner is getting bullied by Lundorf.
You can't believe that right now. Lundorf has the completed item on Guffey. I mean, even if he finds the trade.
Can't you get anything? Joppa having a phenomenal performance after giving 6 assists over. Cashes in on 3 kills.
finally cashing in on some kills. And I mean, Yoppa's been having an absolutely fantastic series all night long, and it just feels like for Fløng, it's starting to fall apart at the seams now. Top side substitute, Ketso getting bullied out. It made sense. Lundorf had a full item. Ketso didn't have that Divine Thunder finished up just yet. Has it now, but I mean, the issue is Lundorf can just start roaming away from the lane. Shockwave available.
Oh, you knock up, but Rotobenge is there. Might be level 6 now, so a little harder.
Yeah. Like you say, level 6 is now a champion with all of that damage reduction, but the issue is Relay's going to be able to take that armor away soon, and the reason why Clocks doesn't die is because the empowered Tether plus the heal, then all of the shields that come afterwards, and Shafty just being permanently slowed by all of those arrows. Nothing that the Viego can really do once he doesn't actually find the initial kill. And again, another empowered W. It's just so much healing. It's so obnoxious. 250 or so around both Tether lock-ins, and Yoppa just walks in to Guffey's face and takes him down.
Cheeky crit coming out from Joppa as well there. He's now got himself the Kraken Slayer and the Zeal in pocket. Going towards which I assume would be a Hurricane. As Ketsuo trading onto Lundorf somewhat here. And Snilly just making sure Shafty is okay to take his Gromp.
Just double checking as where's the Herald? Was the Herald ever placed? Was it the mid lane? Was it the mid lane during a replay? I assume that's what happened.
There you go.
So Herald did eventually get put down. Objective bounties are here already.
I believe Nativz have had all but one dragon so far.
The entire night.
Yeah, they have been having a rough one of it. Is almost finding the abscond abduct on to Errol.
And did actually blow his flash. Still a little bit too scared. Stay alive. Snille continues to poke and prod.
Over there.
And Nativz, I mean, it just feels like they have complete control wherever they want to have their resources. As Joppa, like you said, Kraken Slayer, Zeal already in the inventory. Going to be very close to picking up that second item soon because it has the coal to sell, don't forget.
Okay, so obviously we focus a lot and focus on that. That's the bull delivery system. That's an old combo we haven't seen in a while, and it secures them a kill. Joppa has to use the ultimate, but he dodges away on a bunch of abilities, but he can't survive for long. Guff finds himself the shutdown, a massive injection of gold into the Fløng AD carry. I was about to ask how they can come back, and that is one good way to do so. Snilly not going to get over the wall in time.
Yeah, no, I mean, the way to come back is looking for picks like that. If you're Fløng, you have quite a few strong tools in that regard, right? You've got Camille that can dive in, the Alistar. You just need to find pockets of fog where Nativz might just get a little bit lazy with the vision and just look for plays and moments like that. For Nativz, though, I mean, a brief moment, and it's all that Fløng really needed, where you saw Snille and Relay just move down towards the bottom side just because they wanted to move in as a pair, maybe set up some vision. And Joppa and Clocks are just a little bit too far up whilst that was happening. I think Fløng just had complete understanding of the map state when that was happening. You can see Snille's on the blue buff. Joppa reacts to the flash. Unfortunately, Clocks doesn't have it. Shockwave in, like you say, old school ball delivery system. That's all it really takes. And I hear an Ornn God.
I hear an Ornn horn indeed, but they're not actually going to take it. Just going to get a bit of poke off. But like you're saying, yeah, old combo from Rotobenge Errol there. Been a long time. I felt some nostalgia when I saw that.
Yeah. So did I. It's like saying Lee Sin take down the 1200 years. It's 100 years per year, by the way. Champion that is Zeri.
I see.
And that's the new maths on it now, Jake.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. Are we in agreement there? Like 1200 years?
I mean,
it is a lot of years, though, I will say. But I mean, we've seen what Zeris do. It's why they guide it. And now you have to build crit instead of all of the very obnoxious Triforce, Titanic Hydra. I actually haven't checked on how Zeri's doing on this patch. On live, that is. Of course,
yeah,
still
on the 12 patch is still...
It's still pretty strong on the UM patch.
Don't take it, Silly. Don't take it. His mind is telling him no.
Oh, but there's so many people around him.
His body is saying he's in trouble. They find the kick, they find the CC, but here comes the turnaround. The Ash Arrow comes in. The kick comes back. The Shockwave is going to connect. Shafty can't find a response kill, and the fight is continue on. Here comes Riley. If he can find a good opening, but Rotobenge is going to zone him away for the moment, and they continue the chase. They continue forward. Ketsuo will lose his life, and Clocks just about survives. A very messy fight. with only one fatality.
Yeah, and they will pick up this Herald. Like I say, it was really, really close there. More members definitely could have fallen. More specifically, Clocks. Could have been a 1-for-1. Ketso, you can't blame him for trying. He was just going to get slowed by Ash permanently until he died anyway. And Fløng right now, just slowly bleeding. I mean, finding those 2 picks in the mid lane was definitely good. They're going to try and trade out onto this bottom side tower whilst the Herald goes down. But the issue is, look at the top side. Joppa's already picking up this tower in trade. It's actually going to be teleported onto. I mean, Lundorf has flash, has ultimate. But there are still many members down here.
Oh, he's too early.
Spearing charge.
He was too early. Falls out the horn horn. I can speak, I promise. Clears out the wave.
All right. I mean, keeps the tower alive. Job done. Reset. Even if it forces Fløng to stick around, they know they can't now because the tempo is back in Nativ's favor. They're coming back out from that top side skirmish. They're going to have spent their gold. They're going to have the Herald in their back pocket. They are just going to take their reset whilst they still can. I think you just give up this next dragon. I don't think you ever want to try and contest this. Iamization firmly in favor of Nativz just because of how big the AD carry gap is right now in terms of the items. And this is just Nativz playing another exceptional game in the early stages, even though Fløng again, right? As soon as that level 1 happened where Joppa and Clocks death brushed Guffey, and Clocks blew his flash because of, I mean, mispositioning, and it's something that's definitely happened more times than that level 1, which maybe Fløng can try and pick on. Again, like, look how aggressive Clocks gets, and in this case, it makes a little more sense. He's got his whole team behind him, but it's cost him his life. 2 times out of 3. Doesn't want it to happen again. I think Fløng should just leave this one be, try and get that top tower. I can see somebody's pinging that top tier 1. I think just trade that one out. You get the objective bounty for it. Be happy with that trade. Try and fight right now. You're just going to get absolutely demolished in a 5v5.
Oh, Dragon's going to go down. That soul point once again to Nativz. In this best of 5, they have been just so on it with objectives. So on it. Tower will crumble though. Fløng able to pick up their second of this game, and there's a lot of shutdown gold on the map for them. 500 for that dragon, 500 for Baron.
Yeah, I mean, objectives, they're just going to be worth more until they the bounties themselves slip off, and because there are 3 dragons in Nativ's back pocket.
Ooh.
I saw an arrow go somewhere.
It was aimed at Guff.
Was won't find this mark as
oh no! Oh, he actually gets out arrow. Maybe just to save the day for Snilly, he does have himself no smite, so he's in trouble. Shut down with a Heartbreaker. And now they actually are chasing onto Joppa, but Joppa has the movement speed from Clocks to get away.
We'll just look out that one. Snilly, a little bit too overeager. Take away those chickens. Had the mid wave prior for a little bit, but I think Joppa and Clocks, they backed off away from the wave. They didn't try and guard that position. And so they just paid for it with his life, and these are the kind of things that Fløng need to, try and capitalize on.
Oh, good.
And around potentially.
They do get a good response there, and that is going to be the end of Joppa. Guff's being chased, Guff's being knocked up, and Guff is ignited. As he poofs away, Shafty being chased onto, they get the Abscon Abduct, they get the CC chain, and Shafty will crumble.
I don't know.
Pocket. They're doing it.
Yeah, I don't know if Fløng are going to be able to come back from this one now. They lose 3 members. Baron's on the cards. That will be taken down. It's 21-minute Baron with a 2.5 IM AD carry. It's going to fall. Surely, I mean, unless we see Errol come out with an ultimate, but it's being turned around on already.
It's been turned around so quick. The shockwave's going to collapse onto 2. Snilly's going low. Ketsuo actually doing a good job to keep himself alive, potentially find the kill. He flashes into the pit. The Baron is secured for the side of Nativz.
And Nativz, even in this small moment, they deny the one potential opportunity that Fløng have at taking down the Baron with a potential shockwave still. Maybe even Ketsuo manages to find something to stack that precision protocol on, and they can stack the damage. It would definitely deal more than smite. Nativz, they immediately just jump out the pit and they execute the Camille as fast as they can, force Errol to use the shockwave in defense. And that shuts down any potential opportunity at stealing away that Baron. Nativz with the Baron, with the IMs in their back pocket, with the gold lead. Many towers still to take off the map. They are just going to get further and further ahead. Fløng, they have to try and break apart the tempo on this approach, but the issue is, if they're opening out on 2 lanes, they're just going to slowly but surely pick apart the vision. I'm sure the wave goes in. Now they'll group up a little bit more towards each other, ensure that they clear away and build whatever they can. Almost find themselves onto Rotten Bengi.
Oh, almost. That's the Popper's ultimate. Tower goes down and Shafty's been spotted. Lundorf has found him. And the CC train has been delivered. The Heartbreaker has to come out. The Ash Arrow connects, and the Ornhorn's coming in to follow. Snilly sped up, knocked up, finds himself the kill. And they're looking for Ketsuo as well. Lundorf gets some revenge for a pretty poo lane. Riley now jumping in. He's going to get himself popped up. Shot blast. King keeps himself alive for a long time. That healing is still just hideous.
I think Nativz, Jake, want to go home early.
He's fine.
Yeah, fine. Nativz want to get off Tournament Realm ASAP. They have dinner to eat.
Uber Eats is on the way, mate. They want to get this going.
They've taken down the first inhibitor of the game. And the teleport's coming in on the bottom side to make sure they secure this bottom side tier 2. They'll continue to push in. Nativz tonight have been clinical. And I definitely had questions.
Interesting little interaction there. Rottenbenge will go down, though.
Never seen that before.
Well, Snilly comes in, gets himself a kick off, and that is the assassination. Arrow will fall. Guff will be next to follow. Shafty is taken down. Nativz have found their opportunity. Ketsuo, he is locked in place and cannot move. The ace is there. The minion wave is there. And Nativz with 2 downed inhibitors will turn their attention towards the Nexus and turn their attention towards closing this game out and closing this series out. 3-0. Like you said, it has been crisp, it has been clinical from Nativz. They have looked so crisp, so clean in this series as they're going to pad their KDAs on the way out. 25 minutes on the clock for game number 3 and a 3-0 series for Nativz.
A 3-0 series indeed. And I mean, I think we've always known that the grand final path would end in Nativz versus Munster. And what a clean performance that was. Obviously, of course, commiserations to Nativz, to Fløng Esports, of course. I think it just started to fall apart. Something obviously looked like it went wrong, especially in that final game. It just felt like the communication was no longer there. There was no more cohesiveness that we at the very least saw in game 1 and 2. It's obviously very hard to tell what goes on behind the scenes, etc. Late, we didn't get word of the sub until basically we were about to go to the Champs League. So, yeah. For Fløng, unfortunately, their road ends here. Still, 3rd place is a very respectable finish, especially considering some of the teams that we had from sort of mid-table up.
Yeah.
But Nativz, they were here today to do business, and business they did indeed, and they will meet Munster in the grand finals of Division 2.
Well, an absolutely phenomenal win there for Nativz. Now, we are going to take a very quick break. When we're back, we're going to talk to our losers and our winners from this series, break that down and prep you for those grand finals that will be coming up soon. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a moment. we are back and we are joined by Danksman, from the side of Fløng, who has currently disappeared on my screen. And you can see his Discord icon, which is incredible.
Which is weird because I could see him in the Discord, but
yeah, I can see him in Discord, but I can't see him in this.
No, the stream must get.
Hey, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
I guess we just lost. That's how it is, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff happens. Like, it's a competitive game. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, and unfortunately, we lost today.
Yeah. I mean, you guys still got third place, so you know how's it feeling overall? You kind of made it into that top 3 of the league. You know, even though you didn't make finals, and it was obviously not the end goal. What's the mood like now that you've kind of everything's all done?
If I know my players right, I haven't spoken with them after the game. They are quite sad because they all want to win, of course. But I mean, it is what it is. I guess like I'm so happy for the split, how it went. Like I am so proud of the boys. Yeah, like everything is so good. Everything's been so good. Like yeah.
That's obviously very good to hear as well. Like even after 3-0 like that, yes, it was a very rough series, but at least to hear, spirits might still be high. That's like one of the more important things. So I want to ask you, sort of moving forward off of the split, right? You said it's a very successful split, top 3 in the first split here in Division 2. Are the aspirations effectively just to, hopefully keep this roster as together as possible and move forward into looking at, top 2, top 1, especially as the relegation starts to open up towards the end of the year and the potential path into Division 1 opens up?
I mean, I don't know anything right now. All the players can go see if they can get like on a better team, like an EOL or something. That is totally fine with me. I want what's best for them and where they feel like they have the better chance of competing. So I guess time will show. Like I've had the boys for so long now. Some of the players I've had throughout the qualifier as well. I mean, some of us had New Year's Eve together. We've been at like parties, boot camp stuff, So like I said, like when the split started, it's like family, I wish the best for them. That's all that really matters for me. I'll find a way to make everything work, even if all 5 of them leave. Like, I just want what they want.
That's really good to hear, actually. Really good to hear that you kind of support the team and, the players on what happens next. Hopefully, it works out for the best going into summer. Obviously, in that final game, we did have a substitute coming in. We lost Vangsted. What was the kind of decision-making behind the switch of the players? Well,
I tried to call him, but he was stuck on the toilet. No. No. We had Ketso substitute for today. I didn't actually plan anything about subbing Vangsted specifically out, but something had to be done. And we saw Ketso yesterday play top lane, and the choices ended up being on Vangsted. Like he did nothing wrong at all. Like he didn't get benched for bad performance or being toxic or bad sportsmanship, anything like that. Like he's a great kid. Unfortunately, the choice I took was just subbing out Vangsted. I mean, if there's any Vangediv fans out there now, it's go flame me and not Vangsted for the decision. Since we lost last game as well. I mean, it's my bad, but like I said, Vangsted did nothing wrong at all.
Good to hear. I'm glad that it was like we just needed to try something in case, for the reasons of that. Honestly, it's really lovely. I've spoken to you a couple of times, I think now, and it's really what I love about you is, you're so supportive of the team, not as the team, as the players individually, and it's really nice to see that. It's nice to have a good egg in esports because sometimes we do have a couple of rotten ones. So it's nice.
What did you say? What did you say? Nice to have a good egg.
A good egg, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, no. Love it. Thanks, man. It's been amazing talking to you. Good luck with everything going into the off season and into summer. I really wish the best for you and for you guys.
Can I say one last thing?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you so much for everyone who's been watching and all the support that the players have gotten in chat. absolutely amazing, and it boosted us through some rough games. Thank you so much. See you next split. No, maybe in another league. I don't know, but we'll see you next split.
Awesome. Most wholesome person in the NLC. Guys, we are going to throw to a very quick break, and when we're back, we'll actually have Lundorf standing by for an interview, and we're wrapping up the day from there. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a moment.
Thank you.
Everybody, and we are back with the winning top laner from that series, Lundorf. Lundorf, congratulations on a very convincing 3-0. How are you guys feeling right now?
I mean, we are feeling pretty good. We are going to get a rematch against Monster, so that's going to feel pretty good. It was a bit of a sad, I mean, it was a pretty banger series last time. We went to 5 games, but it's pretty sad that how we lost it when we know we are much better than them. So it's going to be great to get a rematch against them.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I want to sort of jump in straight there and just say, off the back of obviously this much more convincing looking performance in this series compared to Munster last week, what do you think the difference is that you have to sort of effectively make, or the changes you have to make, rather, is probably the better way to phrase it, between your series last week and your series, you know, in the grand final against Munster to actually take the victory, whether it's a 5-game series, whether it's a 3-game series?
I think we just have to, I mean, now it's going to sound weird, but we just have to play better as a team. Like, we just have to use the opportunities we get, because they are really easy to punish. Monster, they make a lot of mistakes, so we just have to be more aware of that and use it better.
So obviously we're talking a little bit about this game. I mean, you mentioned to me you're a little bored after playing tanks, so 3 games in a row. Obviously this game you're going mostly into Fangstead, who can have, you know, quite aggressive champ pools. Things like the Darius obviously came out in game number 2. Was it always the plan that you were just going to kind of sit there and take it on a tank, or, you know, what was kind of like the thought process into prepping for this game? This series,
we of course watched Fløng's last series, and tanks were like they kind of just put Vangsted on tanks. So we knew like in game 1 we had R4 on, and we knew like he's probably just a better champ into enemy team, and we just lock it and don't care about the matchup, since we know he's most likely to get like play a tank into me. So that. And it's also happened. They picked Cyan. It's like slightly winning for Cyan, but it's still fine. And we just played that game better. Game 2, I was kind of surprised by the Darius. I completely forgot he played it, and it's like, I think I can say it, but it's most top laners is like a nemesis. The Darius is not fun to play against, especially if you're Cyan, because like you don't have mobility and he can just fuck you over, which also happened. I fucked up a bit, but again, I think that team comp where Fløng was not really picking team comps to win. They were just picking like as a for the team as a unit. They were just picking for matchups, and that really showed in some of the games. I think we had better draft like most games. So yeah.
I was seeing if Jamal had anything to add to that.
No.
Obviously, so the game's coming up on Thursday. You guys are feeling pretty confident about that. I'm sure this 3-0 is probably giving you guys a bit of a confidence boost. What's the mood like in the Nativz camp right now? How's everyone feeling going into these games on Thursday?
I think we are in a pretty good mood. We had some fun moments in this series. I think there's going to be a fun clip on Twitter from Snille about the Baron steal, so that's gonna be something to look forward to. It's pretty light. Like we take it as a team if we lose, and we win and lose as a team. So it's gonna be fun to play against Monster again, and it's gonna be a great match.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the 3-0 Lundorf, and good luck for your games coming up on Thursday. We are going to let you go now and rest after this 3-0. So good night and see you later.
Thank you.
All right, Jamada. So that is the semi-finals now done. We are moving on to the finals. It's obviously Munster taking on Nativz at the end of that. What were your kind of expectations going into this? Because I believe it's you and Arkaram.
It should be me and Arkaram, yeah. So I mean, we did get a full best of 5 last week, just sort of shown there in the graphic. There you go. In round 2, Munster ended up taking the series. It was very back and forth, and I have spoken to some of the members of Munster, and some of them even feel like, you know, they didn't play well. Nativz feel like they didn't play well, and it still resulted in a 5-game series. And I think today, seeing Nativz play, a much better game than what we saw on that round 2 matchup between the first seed and themselves. I think the finals is kind of set up to be, effectively, I hope, another 5-game banger where one of them ends up taking the victory. I can't really put my finger on who is the better of these two teams in a best of like this. I feel like they are truly sort of match for match for each other, and on any given day, either team could take a best of 5.
I think it's going to be an absolute banger series. We got a banger from them the last time. I think we're going to get a banger from them again. I'm hoping it goes all the way to 5. I think these two teams, deserve it in a way, because it's going to be, it gives them a chance to really show off how strong they both are. I think it is incredibly hard to call. Obviously, there is the advantage of the fact we've already seen Munster win a game, but that obviously, like they said, both teams feel like they've both made mistakes. So I think, honestly, these games are going to be amazing. If you're wondering when these games will be taking place, it'll be Thursday, 6 p.m. European time, 5 p.m. for all of us in the UK. So make sure you do tune in. Same time, same place. But for now, that is us done here with the semi-finals. We'll see you on Thursday for the grand finals of the NLC Division 2. So from me and Jamala, good night, and we'll see you on Thursday.